Hello and welcome to the Nutritional Management for Cardiac Rehabilitation webinar, Eating for a Healthy Heart. This webinar is delivered as part of the education package for cardiac rehab. The information provided in this webinar will be useful to anyone who has heart disease, recently had a heart attack, or have health problems that will increase your risk of heart disease or stroke. This webinar will be focusing on the role that diet plays in heart health. My name is Samantha Clausen, and I'm one of the dietitians based at Somerset NHS Foundation Trust, and I work in the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics. In this webinar, we will cover the definition of heart disease, the risk factors associated with heart disease and how you can start to reduce your risk, a healthy balanced diet, taking a look at the Eat Well guide, evidence-based dietary advice for a healthy heart, including key food groups to promote heart health. And I will also discuss food labels, top tips for a healthy heart, easy diet swaps, and how to start making changes now. So what is heart disease? Heart disease is a broad term that covers many heart-related problems. It is among the top 3 causes of death in England and Wales and accounts for a quarter of all deaths in the UK and is a major cause of disability. The most common cause of heart disease is narrowing or blockage of the coronary arteries, which are the blood vessels that supply blood to the heart itself. It is caused by the buildup of fatty substances called plaques. Narrowing or blockage of the arteries is called coronary artery disease, and it happens slowly over time. It is the major reason people have heart attacks. There are several risk factors that increase the likelihood of forming plaques and how quickly they form. Risk factors can be considered either modifiable, meaning we have some control over being able to change them, or non-modifiable, meaning we cannot change the level of risk associated with that factor. The non-controllable factors that you can't change include your age, your gender, your family history, or your ethnicity. However, it's important to know that you can help reduce your risk of heart disease by taking steps to control the modifiable factors that put you at greater risk. There are 6 key controllable risk factors. These include being overweight or obese, physical inactivity, having type 2 diabetes, having high blood pressure, smoking, and having high cholesterol. Eating an overall healthy diet and adopting good dietary habits can help control and reduce the majority of these risk factors. So why is diet important to heart health? A healthy, balanced diet helps you maintain or reach a healthy weight, achieve healthy blood pressure levels, and helps control blood sugar levels. It also helps reduce high cholesterol levels within the body. A healthy, balanced diet helps promote healthy lifestyle choices, including increased physical activity, stopping smoking, and reducing your alcohol intake. This all helps to prevent blood clots and atherosclerosis, which reduces the risk of heart disease, and ultimately reduces the risk of cancers, diabetes, and stroke. When we think about healthy eating, people can often think this means cutting out foods that are seen as unhealthy or fattening. But healthy eating is much more about getting the right balance between the types of food we eat, ensuring we have a wide variety, and the amounts we eat them in. You may have seen the Eat Well guide before. It shows the types of foods and drinks we should be choosing and in what proportions. Although the Eat Well guide is similar to a plate shape, the proportions shown are not intended to necessarily reflect what your plate should look like at each meal. Instead, it is intended to be representative of the food you have eaten over an entire day or week. The guide divides foods and drinks into 5 main groups and recommends people should try to eat at least 5 portions of fruits and vegetables every day, base meals on higher fiber starchy carbohydrates like potatoes, bread, rice, and pasta, Have some dairy and dairy alternatives such as soya drinks. Eat some beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat, and other proteins. Choose unsaturated oils and spreads and eat them in small amounts. Drink plenty of fluids, aiming for at least 6 to 8 glasses every day. We will take a further look at the types of food within these groups throughout this webinar. Cholesterol plays a vital role in how your body works. There is cholesterol in every cell of your body. Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like substance naturally produced in the liver. Cholesterol, however, cannot circulate loosely in the blood, so the liver packages them into small parcels called lipoproteins, which are then released into the blood and carried around the body to wherever they are needed. When people talk about the different types of cholesterol, they're usually talking about these lipoproteins. Now, there are 2 different types of lipoproteins, one being called LDL cholesterol or low-density lipoprotein. This is often called the bad cholesterol because too much in the blood can lead to health problems. These lipoproteins contain lots of cholesterol. Their job is to deliver cholesterol to the cells where it's needed. However, if there's too much of the LDL cholesterol in your blood, it can then build up in the arteries, clogging them up. The other lipoprotein is called HDL cholesterol, or high-density lipoprotein. This is often called good cholesterol because it helps prevent disease. They contain lots of protein and very little cholesterol. HDL cholesterol's job is to carry cholesterol away from the cells back to the liver, where it can then be broken down and removed from the body. Some of our cholesterol comes from the food we eat, however, most is produced in the body. Now we will take a look at how the different types of fat we eat can affect the amount of good and bad cholesterol in our blood. There are several different types of fat in the diet grouped into good and bad fats. The good fats are unsaturated fats, while the bad fats are the saturated fats. Unsaturated fats are found in plant foods and can help reduce LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and can increase HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol. There are 2 different types of unsaturated fats, and these are called monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Monounsaturated fats can be found in vegetable oils and spreads, such as olive or rapeseed, and they're also found in avocados, nuts, and seeds. Polyunsaturated fats can be found in vegetable oils, such as sunflower, corn, and soya, nuts, and seeds. Omega-3 is a polyunsaturated fat, which can be found in oily fish. Saturated fats are found in animal foods and increase LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, in the blood. You can find saturated fat in fatty meats, such as sausages and burgers, but as well in high-fat dairy products, such as cream, butter, cheese, and milk. It's also found in cooking fats such as palm oil, ghee, lard, and coconut oil. You can also find it in cakes, crisps, biscuits, and chocolate. It is recommended to reduce your intake of saturated fat by reducing overall fat intake or by swapping to the healthier fats. Trans fat has also been shown to raise LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and lower HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol. These are found in fried foods such as takeaway foods, biscuits, cakes, pastries, and pies, as well as some margarine. It's best to avoid these if possible. Many manufacturers have actually changed the processes to help reduce the amount of trans fats in foods. Now, you may have heard of omega-3s. These fall under the polyunsaturated category known as the good fats. Eating foods rich in omega-3 oils have been found to help regulate heartbeat, maintain healthy arteries, lower blood pressure, and prevent blood clots. They are also thought to help reduce inflammatory markers in the body, where if there's high levels, this may increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. Some good sources of omega-3 fats are listed on the screen. The best non-fish sources of omega-3 fats include flax seeds, rapeseed oil, pumpkin seeds, and plain nuts like walnuts and pecans. The best source of omega-3 fats are oily fish, such as salmon and mackerel. There is no evidence that omega-3 supplements, such as fish oil capsules, help to prevent heart disease and stroke. Current guidelines recommend we eat at least 1 portion of oily fish and 1 portion of white fish per week. A portion is about 140 grams, or 5 to 6 ounces of cooked fish, which is about the size and thickness of your hand. You may have heard of foods that help lower cholesterol. These foods contain plant sterols and stanols, which have similar chemical structure to cholesterol. Plant stanols and sterols are thought to help reduce the absorption of cholesterol in the gut, resulting in less bad LDL cholesterol in the blood. They are not a substitute for a healthy diet or a replacement for cholesterol-lowering medication. Plant sterols and stanols are naturally found in small amounts in plant sources, such as vegetable oils, grains, and fruit and vegetables. However, this is unlikely to be enough to see a cholesterol-lowering benefit from the diet alone. Therefore, sterols and stanols have been added to certain foods, such as fortified yogurt and spreads. Evidence suggests that 2 grams of plant sterols or stanols per day can have an additional cholesterol-lowering benefit. This can be achieved in 1 mini fortified yogurt drink or yogurt. You do not need to consume more than the maximum recommended amount. Fruits and vegetables contain a wide variety of important nutrients, including fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that can help reduce the risk of heart disease. Eating a wide variety can also help promote a healthy weight, as they can help fill you up whilst being low in calories. Fruit and vegetables can also maintain a healthy bowel. It's recommended to aim for at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables per day. So what is a typical portion size for fruit and vegetables? A portion of fruit or vegetables could be 3 heaped tablespoons of cooked pulses, or 3 tablespoons of vegetables, 1 dessert bowl of salad, 1 large fruit such as an apple, orange, pear, or banana, or 2 small fruits such as plums, kiwi, or apricot. A portion size could also be 1 cup or handful of berries or grapes, or maybe a half to 1 tablespoon of dried fruit. A portion size could also be 150 ml of unsweetened fruit juice. Consuming a high fiber diet can lower cholesterol levels, reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. It can also help with constipation and protect against bowel cancer. Dietary fiber is found in plant-based foods such as fruit and vegetables, beans, pulses, and legumes, as well as nuts and seeds and whole grain starchy carbohydrates. There are 2 different types of fiber that can be found in different types of foods, and these are called soluble and insoluble fibers. Soluble fiber can help lower blood cholesterol levels by interfering with the absorption of dietary cholesterol. Consuming soluble fiber every day can help reduce LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol levels. Soluble fiber includes oats and barley, fruits and vegetables, beans and pulses, including baked beans, chickpeas, and lentils, as well as nuts and seeds that are unsalted. It is important to increase the fiber in your diet gradually and make sure you drink plenty of fluids. Oats contain a soluble fiber called oat beta-glucan, which helps lower cholesterol. The response is dose affected. This means that the higher the intake of the beta-glucan, the greater the reduction in cholesterol. Optimal intake of beta-glucan is 3 grams or more per day. An example of this would be 2 to 4 portions of oat-based products. Examples include porridge, oat cereal, oat cakes, or flapjacks. Nuts, seeds, and legumes are also important for a healthy, balanced diet. Studies suggest that those who regularly eat nuts are less likely to have heart disease. Nuts, seeds, and legumes are low in saturated fat and they're a good source of protein. They also contain fiber, vitamins, and minerals. The recommendation is to aim for 4 to 5 portions of nuts, seeds, and legumes a week. It's better to choose plain nuts that are unsalted. It's important to remember that nuts and seeds are also high in calories, so stick to the recommended portion size of 30 grams, which is about a small handful. A diet high in salt is associated with increased blood pressure and increased cardiovascular disease. Salt is also known as sodium chloride. It is recommended that adults should have less than 6 grams of salt per day, so that's about 1 teaspoon. Most of us consume too much salt, as about 75% of the salt we eat is already added to foods. You can reduce your intake of salt by avoiding salty foods such as cheese, stock cubes, crisps, and gravy, as well as avoiding processed foods such as bacon and high-salt convenience meals. Another way to reduce salt in the diet is to not add salt at the table, and try not to add salt to cooking. You may also find using alternative flavoring in cooking such as lemon juice, black pepper, and salt-free herbs and spices will help reduce your salt intake. Remember, using low sodium salt alternatives is not recommended. It will not help you adjust your taste to less salty foods, and it's not suitable for some people. Sugar is found naturally in many foods such as dairy and fruit. However, these foods also give us important vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Therefore, you do not need to cut down on these. Added sugars, or what we call free sugars, are those that are simply added to processed foods such as cakes, sweets, cereals, and some yogurts. It also includes sugar found in fruit juice, table sugar, and syrups. Eating too much added sugar can contribute to excessive calorie intake, weight gain, and high blood sugar. Top sources of sugar includes preserves such as jam or marmalade, and confectionery such as jellies, chocolate products, and tinned fruit and syrup. Another source includes fizzy drinks, juices, and alcohol. Biscuits, cakes, and cereals are another top source, as well as condiments such as tomato ketchup, stir and sweet and sour sauce, and table sugar is another top source. Sugar can be found on food labels under lots of different names, such as sucrose, dextrose, fructose, glucose, maltodextrin, fruit juice concentrate, honey, syrup, such as golden syrup, molasses, treacle, caramel, barley malt, and many more. When looking at food labels, look for the part that says carbohydrate of which sugars, and then look at the section for every 100 grams. More than 22.5 grams of which sugars per 100 gram is considered high sugar, and 5 grams of which sugars are less than per 100 gram is considered low sugar. Excessive alcohol consumption has been linked with high cholesterol and high blood pressure levels. Alcohol can also contribute to weight gain as it's high in calories. Excessive alcohol consumption can also lead to liver damage. If you drink alcohol, keep consumption within the lower risk limits. Men and women are advised not to drink more than 14 units of alcohol per week, with a maximum of 2 to 3 units per day. It is also important to have some alcohol-free days during the week. 1 unit of alcohol is equal to 218 milliliters of your standard cider, 76 milliliters of wine, 25 milliliters of whiskey, or 250 milliliters of beer, and 250 milliliters of an alcohol pop. Food labels tell you at a glance which foods are higher in fat, saturated fat, salt, and sugar, and it can help you make healthier choices. Often labels are color-coded, where red means high Amber means medium, and green means low. Mainly green is a healthier choice, while mainly red, we should aim to limit these types of foods. Remember to use this guidance with food labels showing the fat content per 100 grams. For fat, more than 17.5 grams of fat per 100 grams of food is high and should be eaten only on occasion. Less than 3 grams per 100 grams is low and a healthier choice. For saturated fat, more than 5 grams per 100 grams is high and should only be eaten on occasion, where less than 1.5 grams per 100 gram is low and is considered a healthier choice. If you find it difficult to look at food labels, why don't you try the NHS Food Scanner app, which is an easy way to determine if a food is a good choice. This app will allow you to see at a glance whether the product is high, medium, or low in sugar, salt, and fat. All you have to do is scan the barcodes on the food item and swipe to see the healthier options available, and then you can make the swap next time you shop. You can download the app on the App Store or on Google Play. Now, this may be a lot of information to take in all at once. If you'd like, you may pause the webinar and re-watch as needed. From a diet perspective, the key top tips for a healthy heart include aiming for at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetable per day, eat 2 portions of fish a week, one of them should be an oily fish, swap saturated fats for unsaturated fats, and to avoid trans fat, stick to the guidelines for alcohol limits and aim for 2 alcohol-free days per week. Use less salt and limit added sugar. Add soluble fiber and plant stanols and sterols to help reduce cholesterol in the diet. And to remember to always check the food labels, but also enjoy what you eat. Here are some examples of easy food swaps to support a healthy heart. Things like swapping butter for olive oil, cakes for fruit, salt for herbs and spices, and red meat for oily fish. Now let's take a look at some frequently asked questions. What do you think's better for me, organic or non-organic foods? It may seem like organic foods are the healthier option. However, evidence shows that organic foods do not provide more nutrition than non-organic foods. Also, organic foods tend to be much more expensive than non-organic foods. Rather than focusing on which foods are organic or non-organic, aim to focus on adding more whole fruits and vegetables and making smart swaps. Any fruit and veg is better than none. Another question you may have would be, would you recommend vitamin supplements? For most of us, a once-a-day multivitamin supplement is acceptable, but not necessary if you're already eating a well-balanced diet. Before taking a multivitamin, please consult with your GP to ensure that it would be appropriate for you. Another common question would be, should I limit my carbohydrate intake? There is likely no need to limit your carbohydrate intake, so try to focus on the quality of carbohydrates. Aim for more whole grain or brown varieties of carbohydrates, such as swapping white bread to brown bread or white pasta to whole grain pasta. Remember to focus on quality over quantity. You may also have a question about eggs and whether or not you should start avoiding them. There is a lot of confusion around whether eggs can be part of a healthy diet, which stems from the fact that egg yolks contain cholesterol. Dietary cholesterol is found in animal sources such as whole milk dairy products, egg yolk, meats, poultry, and some shellfish. While it does raise blood cholesterol levels, the effect is usually modest. Foods high in saturated fat have a much more significant effect on blood cholesterol, so it is much more important to limit the amount of saturated fat in the diet. Eggs are low in saturated fat, and they have many other nutritional benefits, so for the general healthy population, they can be included as part of a heart-healthy diet. Finally, you may wonder about fruit juices and whether or not that's a good way to add more fruit into your diet. Fruit juices, however, can be high in sugar, so it's important to limit yourself to 150 ml of fruit juice a day. It is because fruit juice lacks the fiber, which helps us stay full. The fiber in the fruit can help regulate your weight as well. Try to limit the fruit juice and add in more whole fruits into your diet. For any other additional questions, please see our useful information page to access additional links for evidence-based information on how to keep a healthy heart with your diet. Making changes to reduce your risk may feel overwhelming, and you may struggle to know where to start. The important thing is to focus on what you can change. Here are some tips to help get you started. Start today. Now is always the best time to make changes. Small changes can make a big difference, so start small. Remember, changes don't happen overnight, so give it time to see results. If weight loss is your goal, it may take time to see changes on the scales, but you may see improvements in your sleep and energy levels sooner. Remember to set yourself achievable goals. You won't be able to change your entire lifestyle in one day, so start with 1 or 2 small changes and then gradually increase them. Useful websites which contain information about healthy eating and heart health include the British Dietetic Association, the British Heart Foundation, and Heart UK. Please also see the link below for the NHS Food Scanner app to help you make healthier food choices. Thank you for listening to this Eating for a Healthy Heart webinar as part of the education package of the Cardiac Rehab series. If you have further questions, please see the links on the previous slide for credible websites for further information, or speak to your doctor and ask to be referred to a dietitian. Thank you.